Okay, here's a thought for you. Pick a day on the calendar, any random day. What can it really tell us? You know, we usually think of history in these big, epic chunks, but what happens if we zoom way in on just one single, ordinary day?
Well, it turns out it can tell us a whole lot. A day like February 7th is kind of like a secret crossroads in the history of math. It's the date that connects pioneers, spies, novelists, even resistance fighters. All these incredible human stories that are usually hidden behind the clean, neat numbers and formulas we all know. So our first story starts with a name you've probably never heard, Charlotte Pengra. She was a true pioneer in American mathematics, and her life was this brilliant but tragically short flash of genius.
Let's just let this number sink in for a second. The year is 1901. In a field that was completely, utterly dominated by men, Charlotte Pengra becomes only the sixth woman in the entire United States to earn a doctorate in mathematics. I mean, this wasn't just another degree. It was a huge, powerful statement.
And this wasn't just about getting a job. In the letter she wrote, she gets right to the heart of her motivation. She wanted this education for its own sake. She had this pure, driving passion for learning, and she wanted to share it with others. It's a beautifully simple and really powerful ambition, isn't it?
This timeline, wow, it tells a story of incredible speed, but also of such unfulfilled potential. She gets her PhD just 4 years after her bachelor's degree, moves to Germany, which was the center of the math world back then. But just when her journey is really taking off, it's tragically cut short. She died at only 40 years old. It's such a story of what could have been.
Okay, so from a life that was cut tragically short, our next story is about a life that was, believe it or not, lived twice over. Let's talk about Eric Temple Bell, a celebrated mathematician who was hiding a secret identity in plain sight. So, on one hand, you've got Eric Temple Bell, the esteemed professor at Caltech, an award winner, author of the classic book Men of Mathematics. And on the other hand, you've got John Taine, a popular science fiction novelist writing these wild stories about prehistoric monsters and cosmic disasters. And yes, they were the exact same person. He was living a complete double life, somehow balancing intense academia with pure, wild imagination.
And this just perfectly captures his personality. At one point, a local paper that was in on the joke asked John Taine to review a book written by, you guessed it, E.T. Bell. And of course, Taine gave Bell a glowing review, praising his matchless wit. I mean, the sheer audacity is just fantastic. He literally reviewed his own work using his other name.
All right, now we're going to shift gears a bit, from Wittgen's secret identities to a much more serious world. Because February 7th also connects two mathematicians who found themselves on the front lines of World War II, using their brilliant minds not for abstract theory, but for survival and for resistance. First up, we have Max Newman. He was a major player at Bletchley Park, that legendary British code-breaking center. His work in a really abstract field of math became a vital weapon in the war. He was absolutely instrumental in creating the Colossus computers, which helped crack the German High Command's most secret messages. This is math as a tool of intelligence, where the fate of nations is literally hanging in the balance. And then there's the absolutely incredible story of Ugo Morin. He was an Italian mathematician and a fierce opponent of Mussolini's fascist regime. His journey took him from the lecture hall straight into the heart of the Italian resistance, where abstract math problems gave way to actual life-or-death decisions. Just look at this progression. In 1943, he's forced into hiding. He's living on the run, using a fake name, sometimes even traveling inside German vehicles and using his fluent German to pretend he's one of them. By 1944, he's a key figure in the Liberation Committee. And then, and this is amazing, in April 1945, it is Ugo Morin, the mathematician, who personally negotiates and signs the surrender of the German forces in Venice, saving that beautiful city from total destruction.
So what kind of person can do all of that? Well, a colleague in the resistance described him like this. Even while he was being hunted, living in constant danger, he was known for this incredible calm, this internal equilibrium. He was a man who, in the face of just absolute chaos, always had a smile on his face. Now that is profound courage.
So we've met a pioneer, a novelist, a codebreaker, and a resistance fighter, all connected by one single day on the calendar. But the story, it doesn't even end there. The sheer diversity of lives connected to February 7th is, well, it's staggering.
I mean, for example, you have Arthur Jules Morin, a French mathematician who also happened to be a general in Napoleon's army.
There's Oskar Schlomilch, who founded a major German math journal, and Ernesto Pascal, another Italian born on this day, who, just like Ugo Morin, was a fierce opponent of fascism. The list of these incredible lives just goes on and on.
When you get right down to it, what this all shows us is that mathematics isn't this cold, abstract world we sometimes imagine. It's a deeply, deeply human endeavor. It was forged by real people with passions and secrets and incredible courage. Their stories are woven right into the fabric of the knowledge we have today.
And that leaves us with one last thought. If one random day can reveal all of this about mathematics, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other stories are hiding in plain sight, just behind the subjects we think we already understand? Who